Hello, I'm Chris Williams from Read Comics They're Bad For You, the name of my YouTube channel. Or if you're watching this on BitChute, the name of my BitChute channel is Comic Freak. Today we're going to be talking about the entire Doctor Strange 2 debacle that's happened recently. Feige trending, taking blame for Doctor Strange 2 Fiasco, because he's getting all the blame for driving away the director of the movie, much like Kathleen Kennedy did to the Star Wars movie. So this looks like it's going badly for the MCU now, if it's going a similar route. Kevin Feige is now trending on Twitter as fans are blaming the Marvel Studios president for the loss of director Scott Dickerson from Doctor Strange 2. Earlier saw Scott Dickerson take to Twitter to announce his departure due to creative differences. Marvel and I have mutually agreed to part ways on Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Due to creative differences, I am thankful for our collaboration will remain on as EP. Eesh, it sounds like they're getting a divorce. So is Doctor Strange their kid, and does Scott Dickerson get to visit on weekends now? Because that's what it sounds like to me, huh, folks? God, this is stupid. He was probably driven away because, as others have said, and we'll get to those tweets talking about how Scott Dickerson basically left Doctor Strange 2. He was probably kicked off by Feige, who just wanted to make Doctor Strange into another MCU, action fest. And not the horror movie that Feige himself promised to the fans back when he was talking about this movie and how good he thought it was going to be. But now he's walked back those words like he did when he said Captain Marvel was the strongest MCU character, but now it's the Scarlet Witch. Fans and yours truly alike are now speculating that the creative differences mentioned are due to Kevin Feige changing the direction and tone of Doctor Strange 2 away from Scott Dickerson's original vision, thought to be more horror-like, to something more in line with Feige's been there, done that approach to his MCU popcorn films. Feige recently said that Doctor Strange 2 isn't really a horror film, which is the opposite of what has been said this summer. Yeah. Kevin Feige is once again walking back his words because he put his big fat foot in his mouth and now he's freaking scared witless. Probably because his Disney overlords are breathing down his neck to get even more money out of him and make another blockbuster MCU film, because Star Wars went down the drain, and now with the rise of Skywalker, better left forgotten, and I mean that. But now that the MCU is going down a similar NPC route that the Star Wars movies have taken, Kevin Feige is getting, I think, scared, because he knows his job is on the line if these movies begin to fail and not bring in the audiences and the money anymore. Dickerson followed up his initial tweet with a response to fellow filmmaker Duncan Jones, who offered in response to the news, "Wish you had the best on whatever you do next, mate. I know those decisions can keep a person up at night. I'm sure it's a relief to have it decided." "Well said, sir, and thank you," Dickerson replied to Jones. And now we come to the inevitable part where various other filmmakers and stars basically, give out their sorrows to the director basically being thrown off of a Disney project, much like basically everyone came up to the former Star Wars directors who got kicked off of their films by Kathleen Kennedy. Yeah, we're going to see a lot of that from now on, probably with the MCU too now, so get ready for it. I really don't care because, to me, the MCU is over. It ended with Infinity War, and I really don't care anymore. A film writer also offered sad news. "Sorry, sir, still hopeful for the movie, and I'll be there for whatever you make next." "Thank you, my friend," Dickerson replied. Dickerson also retweeted a tweet from C. Robert Cargill that joked, "So I guess it's safe to announce that Scott Dickerson in my next film, Cats 2, The Furying, is being moved up and should be shooting soon." More typical Hollywood dreck, huh? Do you think these people actually care what Scott Dickerson actually is feeling now that he's been kicked off of an MCU movie? Or are they just doing this to basically make themselves and score a few more points among the people who are going to read this article online or hear about it on YouTube? I have my doubts. But I do think these people, at least some of them, do care at least a bit. Even if, in my opinion, I consider most celebrities psychopaths, or at least latent ones. I mean, most people only know these people through movies and through TV. We don't actually know any of these people, and whenever any of them say anything like this, I put a big asterisk next to them because I just really don't know if I should believe them or not. And here are tweets I said that I was going to look over about people talking about what has happened with Doctor Strange 2. Here's one from Wayne Parker. Creative differences? More like you wanted to go deep with the horror route for this film, but Feige and Iger were pushing far from that lake to not scare the children. Sounds like Edgar Wright and Ant-Man all over again. Here's one from The Bandalorian. I wonder if this is over the rating. At SDCC, Scott Dickerson was super excited to emphasize that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness would be a scary Marvel movie. Feige immediately interjected and said it's going to be PG-13 and you're going to like it. Ugh. Would Kevin Feige actually say that out loud in front of a crowd? I know he would want to because he doesn't have the balls to actually make an MCU horror movie, but of course he did, because this is what actually probably happened. As soon as he heard that this was going to be a horror movie, or just the sudden flash of it right there in front of the crowd just scared him, so he immediately blurted out, it's going to be PG-13. Here's a tweet from Salt. Scott Dickerson, hey, I want to make a Doctor Strange 2 kind of unique and not like literally every other Marvel movie. Kevin Feige, no. Here's a tweet from 214. I'm sorry Mr. Feige is a coward with no guts to do anything different. Come to DC for Justice League Dark, talk to Todd Phillips, and he can get it greenlit for you ASAP. And best part is you can make it as scary as you want. No theme parks necessary. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I want to see some scary superhero movies. Come on, bring it to me now, huh? Come on, I want to see Freddy Krueger versus the Avengers and, well, Spider-Man versus Cthulhu. I think that would be an excellent matchup. You know, the 500 billion ton monster against the little scrawny teenage boy with spider powers. I think that would be a good fight, huh, folks, to watch? Here's another tweet. Of course, because he wanted to go full horror and Feige lacks any creative vision aside from minting money for investors, come over to DC and do Justice League Dark. I know no one will force you to add Beyonce jokes. Here's another tweet from Jimmy Foligno. Scott Dickerson, I want Doctor Strange 2 to be full-out rated R horror movie. Kevin Feige. No is what he would say because he's Kevin Feige and, well, he has no creative vision at all. Here's another tweet. Kevin Feige told Scott Dickerson he was making the first horror movie in the MCU, just to take it back a few months later, and now he dropped out as director. Yeah, because he had no reason to stay around because his creative vision had been basically hampered by the higher-ups at his company. So he's going to look for better work elsewhere. It's what anyone else who's in this kind of position would do. And he was not basically, well, chained to that job. So I'm glad that Scott Dickerson is going to look and probably find better opportunities at anywhere else than he would at MCU and Disney's beck and call. And here we come to one of our final tweets. He was probably actually trying to make a different and unique horror film, and now Feige will just get a yes man who makes a generic MCU film that will have one slightly scary moment that all the fanboys will proclaim as breaking new ground. Yeah, that's probably what is going to happen because the MCU is creatively dead now, especially after the death of Thanos, so there's really no reason for anyone to stick around and see these new films. I have to say this. The MCU should just end. Disney should just end on a high note and not make any more of these films because they're just going to get worse and they're just going to get dumber and dumber because they're just going to try and milk it as much as they can and probably kill the franchise that they built up so much over the past decade just to have it go down the chute just like the Star Wars films because Disney is just a money-grubbing tyrant who will stop at nothing to get as much money as possible because that's just Disney. They've always been stupid in this way, and it's why they can't create new things of their own anymore, and why they're buying everything up. They can't create anything new, so just take it, and they'll just repurpose it to their own ends. And this is why their movies are going to suffer, because their own ends, they insist on trying to Disneyfy stuff, and I don't understand why. If you buy something, don't you want it for what it is, not for what you want to do, just because you want to basically, well, synchronize it with your Disney brand? You shouldn't do that with such properties like the MCU. It needs to be what it was, not this turkey you want to turn it into. If you like this video, subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed because YouTube is going around unsubscribing people, so make sure you're still subscribed. If you're watching my videos but you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Read Comics They're Bad For You. Then go over to BitChute and subscribe to my BitChute channel, Comic Freak. Hit that bell for notifications, hit that like button, and leave some comments down below. And if you could you also please share this video, share it on Reddit, share it on Twitter, and share it on Facebook. Share it anywhere you think it'll do the most good because YouTube YouTube is not going around promoting their own YouTube creators anymore, and it would really help me if you could please share this video. Now listen closely, it's that time of the day again. Keep checking back in all my future videos for more information on my own upcoming independent comic book scumdogs. I'm Chris Williams, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video or review.